Sir, I rise to move that the situation arising out of devaluation of the rupee in terms of the dollar be taken into consideration. The subject of this motion is admittedly one of great importance to the country, and I am aware that as Minister of Finance there is a special responsibility which rests upon me in this matter. I feel, Mr. Speaker, that the best way in which I can discharge this responsibility to the House and to the country is by placing before the House a true, clear, unvarnished picture of the situation as I see it. First of all, I would like to acquaint the House with the circumstances which led step by step to the situation with which we are now faced. I would like to take the House back to about 4 months ago, when and on account of the severe drain upon the dollar resources of the countries included in the standing area, there began rumors in Europe and particularly in America that it would be impossible for the pound sterling, which stands as the master currency of this area, to maintain any longer its exchange value. These rumors became so strong that it was necessary for the United Kingdom to get into consultation with other countries primarily concerned with the dollar currency, that is USA and Canada, regarding the measures necessary for remedying this situation. The House is aware that sometime last June I was expected to proceed to London to discuss the question of the sterling balance with the British Chancellor of the Exchequer. I was due to have started from Delhi somewhere about the 20th June of the official delegation from the country having gone there a little earlier. Then a message came from the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom to our Prime Minister that in view of the severe strain upon the resources of the sterling area, the government of the United Kingdom felt it necessary to summon a conference of the finance ministers of the Commonwealth countries to discuss this problem. That conference was scheduled to take place sometime in the first week of July, and in consultation with the Prime Minister, therefore, I decided to postpone my visit to London until early in July. The Commonwealth Ministers' Conference took place about the end of the first week of July in 2008. We sat for 3 days and we considered the measures which should be taken by the countries included in the sterling area to increase our dollar resources and to reduce our expenditure of dollar. Various resolutions were framed at this conference, and the whole idea of the conference was that the resolutions passed at that conference were to provide the basis on which the British Chancellor of the Exchequer, so to speak the managing agent of the sterling area, was to hold talks later in the year, sometime in September, with the US Treasury and with the Canadian government. It is an important point to remember, and I should like to lay some stress on it, that the Commonwealth Ministers' Conference prepared the brief on which the Washington talks were to be based, and I want further to draw the attention of the House to the fact that in the whole of that brief prepared by the Commonwealth Ministers' Conference, there was no reference to the subject of devaluation. That subject was not discussed at the conference. There was not even so much as a reference to the subject at the conference. Then came the talks in Washington in September. The talks at Washington were between the British Chancellor of the Exchequer, the US Secretary of the Treasury, and the Minister of Finance of the Canadian government. The Commonwealth countries were not represented in this conference. The understanding was that the British Chancellor of the Exchequer would argue that case for the sterling countries on the short note prepared by the Commonwealth Ministers' Conference. I may say incidentally that in view of the great importance of these talks in relation to our finances and the general economy of our country, the government of India felt it necessary to direct Mr. Chintaman Deshmukh, who is now our representative in matters of external finance in Europe and America, to proceed to Washington sometime before these talks began, so as to be present there in the capacity of informal observer. From public statements which have been made, I understand that before the British Chancellor of the Exchequer and the British Foreign Minister went to Washington, apparently a decision had been taken to devalue the pound sterling. The next stage to which I want to carry these preliminary observations is that the first information that we received here regarding the decision of the UK government to devalue the pound sterling was contained in a message which was sent by Mr. Attlee to Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. We had to see the repercussions of devaluation in the British currency.